All right, gang. Welcome back to another bit of Magic Standard content here on the ICG Store channel. Today we are bringing to you the blue-white control deck. We played the Jeskai version with Narset in it, the red Narset a week or two ago. But we're going to go back to the old tried and true blue-white. This deck was pretty powerful even back when Teferi was legal, so we're going to play it now without Teferi to see if it's still good, bad, or ugly. Some notable additions to the deck is Frantic Inventory. This card's kind of neat because if you're chaining them, then you're drawing a bunch of cards in a row. Another option that we've decided to play is Whirlwind Denial. This one is neat because it can counter Hydro Crace's both of its sides. The the draw the card and the actual creature. So it's a nice spell to deal with things like that. And then finally we have 4 Dream Trawlers as our win condition. I really love this card, so it's going to be neat to be playing it and hopefully just gaining a bunch of life, drawing a bunch of cards, and winning the game. Sideboard, nothing too crazy, just what you would think. Counter spells, removal, reactive spells. Alright, so let's go ahead and play a couple of games. We'll find out if this deck is any good now that Teferi is banned. It's also one of my favorite decks. Blue-white in Pioneer, blue-white in Modern, blue-white in Legacy. I mean, you can't go wrong. Those other formats you get to play, like Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Dragonlord Ojutai in Pioneer. So this hand's kind of interesting. We're on the draw. We do have Dovin's Veto for their 2-drop play. I think we can keep this. So we got Swamp coming down. Whisperer Squad. So it's an interesting one. So they can, this is like a tokeny type deck. Doom Foretold style deck. Ooh, Glass Casket. So I think that, this is interesting. We can Glass Casket the Whisper Squad. And then they can't keep chaining them. But then the Timerit, just a little bit more powerful. You know what? I think both these creatures are weak enough that we can just pass and leave up our Dovin's Veto or Frantic Inventory at the end of turn. So our plan is to just cycle these Frantic Inventories to try and get up to 4 mana for the Shatter the Sky. Because we can take a couple beats and then just Wrath of God the rest of the cards. Or the rest of the creatures that they have in play. They didn't have a turn 3 play, which is interesting. Awesome. So now we will have Absorb up. And we'll... Okay, so yeah, there's another 1/1 in play. Perfect. This Frantic Inventory is going to draw us 2 cards now since we played it the previous turn. So this Absorb can hit Archfiend's Vessel. Yeah, that can resolve. That's fine. Our Wrath of God or Shadow the Sky will hit it, so it's not a big deal. But we do need to hit untapped land off of this Frantic Inventory, though. See if they commit another creature to the board. They do not, so let's go ahead and draw 2. Give us a land. Ooh, all right, off the top. That's not good. That's not good. So what do we want to do here? What do we want to do? We really needed to hit that land. So I think that we have to Glass Casket here. We can Omen of the Sea into Glass Casket is what we can do. Because we're going to see the top 3 cards of our deck. We've got to be able to, we're going to see it. We're going to hit a land, right? Got to. Fortunately, all of his creatures are pretty weak, so we can take another turn of hits. Awesome. Okay, so there's the land. And then we can Glass Casket away his Timerit. Awesome. And then they can activate their Whisper Squad at the end of the turn if they'd like. And then our turn we'll get to untap and Wrath. And then we'll be in a pretty good position. These absorbs... Oh yeah, their Chimera can get rid of Frantic Inventory, which is fine. We've already got value out of them. And honestly, I think I'd rather than take the extra damage from the Whisper Squad, that's fine. I get to take their Frantic Inventories. These absorbs will be able to gain us back some life in future turns. At this point, we wanted to play just like a solid 4-drop creature. That way we can Wrath it away. They decided against it, so let's just go ahead and Wrath. We are a good old 3-for-1. Ooh. That was a solid play by them. Very, very good. So they drew cards equal to creatures that died. So they drew, what, 3 cards. Unfortunately, these guys do not have haste. So we can Wrath again. And if we hit land, we can Wrath, leave up Veto. In case they try and do some more shenanigans. Perfect. Alright, so let's go ahead and Wrath. And we have Veto if they want to play this reanimation spell again. If they have another one of these standard bearers, not going to feel great, but okay, good. Very good. Archon's Vessel, I'm okay with that. Ooh, perfect counter target. Get him, Veto. Get him, Dovin. Great. So what do we want to do here? We have another Absorb on top. We do not want another one of those. We want to be able to leave up and absorb. So let's just go ahead and play this Narset and leave up absorb. Oh no, the auto tapper. No, that's not good. That's not good. All right, so we have a Glass Casket, which is fine, I suppose. Ugh. Man. So they played, what, Liliana last turn? Gray Merchant for 3, hit me for 1 to 2. Oh man, I could have absorbed that Gray Merchant. So make sure the auto tap is correct here so we can Shatter away. And we have an absorb for their play if they want to play up the Liliana Standard Bearer or whatever it's called. Take a peek. So at this point, they have enough mana to pay for that Mystical Dispute. They got another Gray Merchant. Alright, that's a solid absorb target. Looks like we're playing our budget deck. Let's go ahead and draw off of our Frantic Inventory. Great, Conquers Death. And then we want to be able to leave up those absorbs, so we will not play this Narset. At this point, I just kind of want the life. Their hand is probably 2 lands. We'll slam down this Narset. Let's keep the bigger one. I guess we'll take the Narset and pass. We're looking for a Dream Trawler. Dream Trawler will finish this game pretty quickly. Great, so this is a solid Dovin Veto target. Alright, there we go, the concession. It's in the books. Game 1, Mono Black versus Blue White Control. So we want to bring in our life gain creature. Glass Casket's great because it exiles. Devout Decree is also another solid choice. Ashiok's kind of an interesting one. We'll put this in the maybe pile. And then I think everything else should be okay. Let's take a peek. What are we going to get rid of? So the Conqueror's Death, it's not going to hit a whole ton of stuff, so we'll cut those. 3 Wraths is probably the right number. Probably some amount of these counter spells. Let's just cut them all. And then I guess we do have room for these Ashioks. Is there anything better? Do we want to gain the life? I don't think that's going to be relevant enough. Artifacts, enchantments, nothing really we care about. So it feels like these Ashioks are probably going to do a little bit better because they're focusing on reanimating their stuff. It is a little bit weak. We might want the counterspells over it, but I like the card too much not to play it. And it turns off their 1-drop whispering, whatever. This hand is okay. I mean, we have our life-gaining creature, Frantic Inventory solid. So our hand's like a bunch of cantrips, so we need them to not have an aggressive start. Fabled Passage. That's our 4th land, so let's go ahead and keep that. Ooh. So if I would probably take the Archon here. It looks like they mulliganed a bunch, so. All we really need to do is hit some gas, hit a couple bits of removal, and we'll be alright. Ooh, they took the Frantic Inventory. Interesting. Very interesting. So they know about the Omen of the Sea. We'll just go ahead and play it. Save some time. I don't think we're going to need all those lands. Oh, maybe we will need all those lands. Maybe we will need all those lands. Oh, and an absorb. So let's go ahead and get down this. We'll threaten the Dovin's Veto here. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that resolve. Okay, so they took the life-gaining creature, which is okay. We have Dream Trawler at some point, and they only have 2 1/1s in play. The Priest of Forgotten Gods is a way to deal with Dream Trawler, so we need to do something about that first. I do kind of like both these cards. The absorbs are going to let us gain the life back from these 1/1s. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep both. Let's leave up our absorbs. So if they draw like a Liliana, it would be very good for them. We're just going to counter that, gain our life back. We don't want to take our turns doing nothing, so this is... At least we'll gain some life back and slow them down. Ooh, an additional Ashiok. Let's go ahead and play one of these Ashioks. Our other option is to make a 1/1 from this castle and also leave up the absorb. And then we can also scry 2 to hit our 6th land. That sounds a lot better. Yeah, so it turns out these Ashioks, they're not very good. We'll take 2 damage here. This way we can scry, try and hit our 6th land for Dream Trawler. Awesome. And there's a second Dream Trawler. Because the first one will probably be killed by Priest of Forgotten Realms. Gods. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Yeah, so let's go ahead and keep both these. Pass back. They're not really threatening us. Another swamp. That's fine. Oh, good game. Yeah. I mean, these Dream Colors were coming. So, game 1 in the books. Let's play a couple more matches. See, see if I can not pay attention to the auto tapper. Ooh, look at that! I got a booster pack. I just assume the auto tapper can read my mind, but most of the time it does not. What are you gonna do, though? What are you gonna do? Yeah, so that was kind of neat seeing that mono blue deck that we played yesterday or on Tuesday. This hand is solid. It has a lot of cantrips to progress further into the game, and then a counterspell. So seems like everything we want. At this point, I think we just want our land drops. We have a shatter on 4. We have a counterspell on 3. We just want to keep hitting our land drops. Venerable Knight, 1 mana 2/1. third land. So that's fine. I think Omen of the Sea is probably a better choice here. This way, there's our fourth land, and then we do not want this Narset. So we'll take our 2 damage. With this castle, we get to leave up the counterspell. This is neat too because this snags abilities as well. So if they try and activate a Planeswalker or they try and do some shenanigans with their creatures, these don't really do too much. But so I think that since these are, it's just a 1/1. Well, he buffs additional knights, so yeah, let's just go ahead and take our beats, and then we're going to Wrath on the following turn. Fine. This Wrath is going to feel real good. And then we're still at a healthy 12 life, so that's great. There is I think it's a 3. Perfect. Omen of the Sea. There's a white card that gives them indestructible, but I believe it's 3 mana. So this puts us at 5 lands. We can ship both of these. Glass Casket for their follow-up play. Great. So we'll get Island with this Fabled Passage. And then Wrath. And they do not have any 4-power creatures, so they don't even get to draw a card. Oh man, what is that, a 4-for-1? Dang. Yeah, so we can shock in this Hallowed Fountain and play Glass Casket and keep up this counterspell. Fine. Inspiring Knight is also fine. Oh, look at that, we don't even have to shock it in. Oh, let's double check. Yes, so we do have the right mana. I'm going to tap them on my own here, so we don't get messed up by the auto tapper. And then we have our counterspell for their whatever play they want to do here. Yeah. Acclaimed Knight. Or Acclaimed Contender, sorry. It is a knight. Conquers Death. Interesting. So we want to leave up the counterspell, and then we'll be able to play Frantic Inventory to draw a card. We can also make a 1/1 with this Castle Ardenvale if we deem it necessary. I mean, if they do nothing, if they have like 4 and 5 drops in their hand, I think Stormfist Crusader. Yeah, let's go ahead and counter that. We don't want them drawing any more cards. Only we get to draw the cards. Ooh, Blast Zone is a solid draw. Ooh, another Frantic Inventory. Let's go ahead and pass. So the inventory is going to draw us 2 cards. This card is solid. We'll take our 1 damage. Probably going to be using up a lot of our mana this turn. Thinking away. So that one's a pretty good one. Let's see if we can hit a counterspell here. We did not. But fortunately, our Elspeth Conquers Death will hit that creature. So let's go ahead and we'll make a 1/1. Our other option is to scry with this Omen of the Seas, but I think a 1/1 to block their 1/1 is a little bit better of an option. They can go ahead and get rid of our Frantic Searches. When a Shatter is a good option too. Alright, so we don't want to swing with our creature. We could always put a counter on this Blast Zone if we'd like. Inspiring Veteran, that gets past our 1/1. Yes, it does. Well, yeah, we'll just go ahead and chump here. It's not doing much else. I do wish I had lifelink, though. If only, if only. We can put a counter on this Blast Zone. This way it'll kill their Inspiring Veteran. I'd hit our permanents too, so the Glass Casket and the Omen of the Seas. So maybe that's not the best choice, but... Alright, so... Make sure the auto tap is correct. Narset. Give us something good. Give us something good. So... What do we have in the graveyard to reanimate? Nothing, so let's go ahead and take an additional Narset. So if we take Narset, we can 1, 2, 3 play it. We can't play Shatter then. Decisions. So let's just go ahead and take this Glass Casket. We'll be able to snag their Inspiring Veteran from it. And then we can pretty much cycle our Omen of the Sea here. Scry 2, try and get to that Dream Trawler mana, or Dream Trawler card. And unfortunately, they're not attacking the Narset. Alright, big bucks, no whammies. Dream Trawler. I'll take a counter spell though. That's fine too. That's fine as well. We can activate our Narset. Watch it be all 4 Dream Trawlers right on top. Come on. Frantic Inventory's fine. We'll play it now in case we hit land. Okay, solid. And then we will pass. We can leave up our Absorb. Leave up Absorb for any shenanigans they got, and take our 1 damage per turn. At this point, I just want to get to our win condition. Let's just scry till we hit. There it is, perfect. We do not want an additional land. We'll take the Dream Trawler. And it looks like we get to leave up Absorb as well. Let me double check. Yeah, perfect. So Dream Trawler and leaving up Absorb. That's the game. Do not think they can come back from this. I mean, they got 4 cards in hand, so... They might try and trick me. This has Death Touch, so we cannot block there. Go to 6. Awesome, and we get to... he probably has removal, so he's going to tap down my guy over and over again. Which is okay. That's probably what his hand is like Eliminates and Heartless Dire Tactics. Yeah, let's go ahead and discard a card. Probably just the Shatter. Not going to do much. The Conqueror's Death at least can reanimate the Dream Trawler. We'll play additional Narset, and we'll leave up Absorb or make a 1/1.
Past, present, and future.
I mean, they're really holding on here. Mystical Dispute's okay. That's more of a card just to discard the Dream Trawler. Well, they're only on 4 lands, so... They're only on 4, so this Dispute might actually catch something. And now that we have... Okay, perfect. Let's go to sideboarding. Alright, so we are here. Let's go ahead and sideboard real quick. We need our Glass Caskets. Devout Decree seems solid. Our life-gaining creature. This seems a little bit narrow. It only hits their red creatures. So let's go ahead. We'll shave our counter spells here. They're not going to do much. Absorb's still pretty solid. The Vetoes probably aren't going to hit much. And And then we could probably bring in one Aether Gust. That seems extremely narrow. We'll bring in the final Shatter the Sky. Alright. Just in time. We got that sideboarded. With no seconds to spare. Alright. Game 1 went pretty well for us. We do have the turn 4 Shatter. We're on the draw. We could try and Omen into a Glass Casket. Alright. Let's get it. Oh, man. Okay, they're bringing the heat. Glass Casket. Come on. We have all 4 lands for our Shatter, so our goal is just to survive to that point. They didn't have the Lord, so that's good. They just have another 2-1, which is fine. So we can Omen to the Sea at the end of their turn. Maybe we'll hit a Glass Casket for our turn 3 play. So looks like okay, cool. Just play some more creatures. I'm okay with that, especially the small, tiny creatures. Ooh. All right, Glass Casket one time. Don't need that. We don't need that. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So this Glass Casket can go ahead and snag this Knight of the Even Legion. Play this tapped, and then we can Wrath on the next turn. So we're pretty set up. At this point, we want them to play like a solid 3-drop here. They got all kinds of mana. I think we have to Wrath. They definitely have something, but we have to play into it, unfortunately. So, like that Lilion, that flag, Lilion's flag bearer from last game. Hopefully that's not what they have. Okay, that's fine. That's definitely something we could deal with. Oh man, they got another creature they can play. So we can Conquer's Death the 3/3. Definitely looking grim for us. Yeah, so it's a 3/4, and this will buff that knight, so that's 5. So that's actually game. Dang. Even though we drew the Glass Casket, we could not pull it off. Oh, so I did not hit done, so our deck did not sideboard. That's unfortunate. But that's okay. It just means we drew well there because there was not that additional Glass Casket in there. So we'll board how we were supposed to board, and now we're on the play, which is much better. Like, if we were on the play that game, we probably would have won, because we could have played our Dream Trawler on their turn 5. Or, yeah, coming from their turn 5. Frantic Inventory really keeps his hand together, because we have removal for their early plays and Frantic Inventory to try and cantrip into something relevant. And then Narset can hopefully give us an additional Frantic Inventory. The Blast Zone looks bad with this Absorb in hand. So since we have this Devout Decree, we're just going to Glass Casket that, because if they play the Inspiring Veteran, the Lord, this Devout Decree can actually snag it, so. Worthy Knight though, that's a good one. Perfect. Land into Narset. Let's try and hit. Okay, so they know. So we're foreshadowing a Shatter. We have 2, so it might be neat because they probably won't play into the Shatter, or they'll play around it because they know about it, and that will slow them down. When really what we need, we're going to need land, so we need them to be slowing down. Ooh, they want to draw some cards. Is that what they're trying to do? Why do they care about? Why do they care about this Narset? Interesting. Which is fine by me. I don't. Ooh. Yeah. So this is We're just going to shatter them. We'll take our 2 for 1. We still get to keep our Narset in play for whatever reason they decided to attack it. Probably just so we couldn't get an additional activation, but... they could have a scary 4-drop. If they don't, we get to leave up Absorb, drop right. Awesome. That is not scary at all. That's a little bit scarier, but I think that we can go ahead and chalk this in. Devout Decree, Inspiring Veteran, and then now we have Absorb up. And if they play nothing, we can Frantic Inventory. Let's go ahead and ship this. At this point, we just want some gas. Yeah, we have some time, so we'll eventually draw into some more lands. It looks like they're drawn into some lands too. And we have this Blast Zone on 1 to deal with the Foulmire Knight. So definitely feel pretty confident in this game. Awesome, a Glass Casket. Ooh, Omen of the Sea, perfect. So we're gonna play this in case we decide to take a land from this stuff. Ooh, perfect. So we want both of these. We'll take the land. We'll leave the Trawler on top. And now we are firmly in the driver's seat because we can counter whatever they play here and then slam that Dream Trawler next turn. Great. Yep, absorb that. Good game. I mean, they don't know about the Dream Trawler, but they probably feel it. Yeah. Good game. Just going first in these aggressive matchups, it just feels so much better. And then I just love playing Dream Trawler. Oh, that card's so good. So good. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's play another game. These games aren't taking as long as I thought they would. The blue-white deck typically goes long, but man, Dream Trawler closes it out fast. Alright. See if we can play against like this Altai-Ramp deck. That's like the #1 deck, so if we can do well against that, then we'll know we're on the right path for this deck. Losing Teferi is definitely a big downside, but the deck was extremely powerful before Teferi. Well, extremely powerful with Teferi, so it just loses a little bit of its power. I've been watching the show Dark. It's on Netflix. It was originally in German, so they dubbed over the voices, and like it's kind of weird sometimes. Like if you've seen Kung Pao Enter the Fist, they make a joke about it because it's Japanese dubbed, and they'll say like "hello" and their mouth will keep moving. It's pretty funny. But in the Dark, sometimes the yelling and stuff doesn't match up. It's kind of weird, but it's a solid show, and I definitely recommend that for people to watch it. I'm only on the first season, but it's just the feeling you get from it. You're like, oh man. It's like the right amount of suspense. This hand looks solid. We can play Dispute on 1 if they're playing a blue deck, like if they're playing Sultai Ramp. It looks like they mulliganed. Ooh, black. This is kind of an interesting one. I'm still going to lead on Island because I don't know exactly what their plan is here, if it's like a Teferi's Tutelage deck. Yeah, so it is a mill deck, so they're probably playing blue somewhere. Or they do it self-mill. Interesting, interesting. So let's go ahead and shock this in. This is going to be great for our Frantic Inventory. From your graveyard. Okay, so we have to figure out exactly what their plan is. Another Eye Collector. Yeah, that's fine. So they're just trying to hit their land drops at this point. Go ahead, we'll hit our land drops. Perfect. All we need is a Wrath, and we can clean up their board. We'll take the 2 damage from these. The milling isn't super relevant because we have counter spells to deal with their big mill spells. Perfect. It sucks because there's a lot of triggers we gotta click through though, unfortunately. Let's go ahead. We'll do this. We'll get. Hopefully there should be another planes in our deck, so it's not like they've milled that many cards. And pass a Rooski. So 43 cards in our deck. Hopefully they play... well, they only have 1 land, so... What an interesting game. Maybe it would have made more sense to hold that Frantic Inventory until we hit one in the graveyard. So we can cast this on their Eye Collector and leave up Absorb. So that's what we're going to do. They're missing their land drops, but they're still hitting. Okay, there we go. 2 mana. What are you going to do now? Does that unlock anything in your hand? Does it unlock me casting this Absorb? Yes, that's fine. Always yield. Ooh, Narcomoeba. That's fine. That's fine. Ooh, Mire Triton, yeah. So let's go ahead and... I think that our weakest counterspell here is Mystical Dispute. So we're going to go ahead and resolve that. That way we can just get some value out of it. So we want to hit a Dream Trawler. Although if they hit all 4 of our Dream Trawlers, I don't actually think we can win. Yeah, so there's only 1. We really... That's a little scary. If they hit all our Dream Trawlers, we can't win. Ooh, Maze Mind Tome. So we're going to go ahead... Let's veto that. This way we can just be a little bit more efficient. We have the mana to do whatever we want in future turns, so we'll leave these absorbs up. Ooh, Frantic Inventory, perfect. We're gonna wait as long as we can on this inventory so we can get maximum value. There's only 1 in the bin right now, so. Oh, these triggers are so annoying. Mire Triton again. Ugh. I mean, how many cards? They got 32 cards. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. We'll draw our 2 cards. There it is. There's a Dream Trawler. So that's a little bit scary. Creeping Chills. Yeah, so let's go ahead and counter this ability. This is an interesting one because we need to resolve this. Oh man, so that turn way back when we Mystical Disputed, we should have absorbed, so we would have gained 3 life. Man, this has been such a weird game. So this is... I think since we have the second Trawler here... Man, if they flip over a Creeping Chill, we lose. Yeah, we have the second Trawler, so I think that we're just going to block. Puts us up some mana. Or sorry, puts us up some life. And if we hit land here, we can Trawler, leave up Absorb. Yeah, because they still have 3 Creeping Chills in their deck. Probably maybe 1 in hand. Oh, there it is. Oh, so we would have lost if we wouldn't have blocked there. So we really need to hit a land here so we can have Trawler and Absorb. Oh, Shatter's fine too. Shatter, because it also leaves up Absorb. So let's go ahead and do that. So we need them to not hit Creeping Chill off of this Chimera. It's Call of the Dead. Okay, cool. We got it there. So I guess they have 1 more mill off this Wand of the Vertebrae. Man, it's got a little intense. We let our life get a little bit low here. Okay, awesome. So we can absorb this just to gain some life. Give us some buffer. I don't even care what this... Oh, man. I would have much rather absorbed that. That's an 8/8. Oh, man. This just did not go our way. Man, what are we looking here for? Shatter the Sky? Man, did this game fall out of our hands? This is unfortunate. I guess like our turns of doing nothing really both of us doing nothing benefited them. Since they have so much like graveyard recursion. Like we get to bring in 2 Ashiok, so this game's gonna get much better. So if we block, I think we might still be dead, but let's take a look. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're still dead. Man, that is unfortunate. The cards just did not line up. We want Glass Casket. The Devout Decree is solid. Definitely these Ashioks. So, Frantic Inventory, or sorry, the Whirlwind Denial, I think I kind of want still in there. Dovin's Veto can go. Shatter, I'm going to shave a Shatter. And Elspeth, we'll cut 2 of these Elspeth Conqueror's Deaths. Alright, we'll see where this takes us. That Heliod's intervention might be an inclusion because it destroys artifacts and their mill artifact. And their Maze Mind's Tome. This is definitely a mulligan. This hand is not good, but we're going to keep it. It has Ashiok. We still need the second island for Ashiok, but it'll be solid if we hit it. Anyways, we can go turn 2 Glass Casket, their 1-drop. Looks like they mulliganed as well. There it is. Right on time. And then, perfect. So they're mill 1, and we'll get our Ashiok online. Let's get them. Play some good cards. Ooh, we got the Ghoul. They're just going to hard cast the Ghoul. Fortunately, we can Glass Casket that. And in the following turn, we have Conqueror's Death, which is great because it can reanimate the Ashiok if it happens to die. Here we go. All 4 Creeping Chills, one time.
Behold, my epilogue of
So there's no duress. So they take our only spell out of our hand, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Ooh, they scried 1 to the top. So well, they'll probably just mill it. Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe they're realizing they should not have put that on top. They're like, no, I wanted to draw. It's like a Fiend Artisan or something. It is what it is. All right, we want a spell. Ooh, okay. So, I was at one of those eye collectors. We can put a counter on the blast zone, but it kills our Glass Casket, so we don't want to do that. We'll leave this on 1 for now. Ooh, no, now we're definitely going to put it on 2. So, even though we're going to lose, they're going to get back to school, I think that it's pretty important we do this. Man. Did we just finish off the Ashiok? I think so. Hit something good. Ooh. We hit a creeping chill for them. But alright, so let me sacrifice another creature, search the burden may cost X or less. So we can do this on their upkeep. Yeah, so on their upkeep we can sack and destroy all 2 drops. And then that way they can't attack with this 3/1 duel. They can only activate this ability at sorcery speed. Oh, they hit a creep and chill. Resolve. And that way that gets rid of their pressure. Gives us a couple turns to play some cards. Draw something. I mean, a 3/1 in play is no joke, so we will need to draw something. And unfortunately, they can sack it in response to like a Glass Casket or a Shatter the Sky. Omen of the Seas, good draw. Dream Trawler would be very good here. Narset's also okay. Just because it's going to let us soak up some damage and draw into more relevant spells. Alright, give me something good. It's not like the best, but, I mean, like Narset, it'll soak up some damage. And as long as, oh no. Why you do that to me? Why are you doing that to me? Veto. It's a little bit scary of a creature.
I was not prepared for this.
That's a little scary. So we can make a 1/1 to block his 3/1. That's fine. Maybe he doesn't know that I can make a 1/1. That's kind of interesting. Snap block. So we'll still take 4, well, 4 extra because of the lifelink. So 5 altogether. Oh, I guess it comes back. Oh, there we go. Dream Trawler, right on time. So this should get us back into the game. It'll draw us 2 cards a turn. It'll be able to block. Oh, no, I should not have played... Okay, good. Should not have played that land because I need a card to discard to save the Trawler. We're going to stop in our upkeep so we can scry 2 with this Omen of the Sea. Oh no. Maybe this Dream Trawler is not enough. Maybe we need Shatter the Sky too. Glass Casket's solid as well. So we're going to Glass Casket this Veto. We can attack. We'll get draw the land. We're able to play it. Make a 1/1 to block their 3/1. No, we do not have enough lands to make a 1/1. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're not dead yet. Oh, we're getting really close though. This is a little scary. If they hit Creeping Chill, we lose. Okay, that's fine. Come on. Come on. Okay, Swamp. So we got some draws. Let's go ahead. Oh, they conceded. Why? Well, that's interesting. Alright, so our opponent in the last game, it looks like they had to go, so we didn't even play a final match there, so... It was not looking good for us there, but we did have a couple of draws, and we're going to gain a bunch of life, so... Who knows? Who knows what could have happened? We could have frantic searched into the Wrath that we needed. I don't know. We'll never know. Oh, in the books, it's we won, so I'll take that. This hand's a little... It's a little weak, but, I mean, it has counterspells. It has, like, not the best counterspell, but it has Omen of the Sea to wrap it all up. What are these? Oh, that's cool, the rat secret lair. That's really cool. So our turn 2, we can leave up Veto or play Omen of the Sea. It's looking like probably Omen of the Sea resolve. Got it. And it's in. We don't need any more counter spells. I would like some more lands, though. Perfect. So that's not going to be super helpful yet because we need double blue, but we have all these other counter spells and draw spells to get us to where we need to be. Let's go ahead and cycle this. Perfect. There's our additional blue. There's some more coming down the pipeline. So this looks like a mono black deck, so we're just going to ship that counterspell and pass it back. This feels great for us because we have a handful of counter magic. So we'll let them play out their lands and do nothing while we sculpt our hand. Ooh, Trawler and an additional Absorb. So we're going to cut that Absorb, but we do have Trawler. There might be merit just to slamming Trawler on 6. Let's keep that. Because it's not like they're going to be countering it, but I guess we could be afraid of like a sacrifice effect. Not that anybody really plays something like that, but Spawn of Mayhem, especially like in this deck. So let's go ahead and counter this, get our 3 life, and then we'll slam Dream Trawler and game over. Alright, good game, opponent. I mean, I guess they can resolve a giant creature here or something. But... Yeah, Nightmare Shepherd's not that scary. Yeah, if we get to untap here, we're in the driver's seat. Perfect. Grasp of Darkness. I guess we could let that resolve. No, we're going to veto that. We'll veto that, because I really want to draw some additional cards with this Dream Trawler. Perfect. So they probably don't want to block here. We're going to shock this in, because life is fairly irrelevant, and we want to be able to have Counterspell and Omen of the Sea. Ayara. That is definitely worthy of countering. Oh, they have enough to pay for it, but that's fine. Eat to Extinction. Yeah, I guess we're just going to discard a card here. We could counter it, but... this way we get to cast this Omen of the Sea. They'll whack us for 4, but let's just do this so we can auto-pass. So we don't want Shatter, we don't want Dispute. I mean, at this point, we don't really need too much. Tell you what, we do not need lands, though. Ooh, Absorb is a solid draw. So let's thin our deck a little bit by fetching with this Fabled Passage. We'll whack in for 5. Draw. Draw another solid card. And this will be able to leave us with enough mana for Absorb. Good game, opponent. I wonder if we can even get up to 10 damage next turn. Probably not. That's fine. Draw all you want. The game will just be over sooner. Nightmare Shepherd. Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't really do much to us. Because this Dream Trawler crushes it. As expected. Yeah. Just a slow grind down. That's fine. We're on bajillion life, so. Good game. All right. So, I mean, them not doing anything for 4 turns is definitely good for us. We want our Devout Decree, some more Glass Caskets. Well, maybe not Glass Casket. I didn't really get to see a whole lot of their deck. But, no, they're definitely going to be playing 1 and 2 drops. Like the Even Legion and some other stuff. The Archon. And let's cut some counter magic. Nightmare Shepherd's a little scary, but I think we can go ahead and... oh, no, we're going to get rid of these vetoes. And then what's the final card we want to bring in? Probably Shatter. Shatter's kind of bad against Nightmare Shepherd. You know what, let's bring in this Giant Killer. Let's bring in 2. Let's see if it's good. So that means we got to cut another card. Probably a Narset. Yeah, we'll find out if this Giant Killer's playable. Come on, big bucks, no whammies. This hand is solid. It has removal on 2, cantrip, and then our bomb on 4. Can't ask for much more. Well, I guess we could ask for them to mulligan, and then they did. Oh, duress. So they can take our removal, but if that was like a creature anyways, it's... oh, they didn't. They took our cantrip. So even though that's kind of a good card if they play a bunch of 1-drops, we're just going to ship it. We want more gas. We have our 4-drop in case they kill it, and then our Dream Trawler to clean up the mess. Oh man, this is pretty sweet. So we can Glass Casket or Frantic Inventory. I think the Casket has better targets, so we're just going to pass here. Like if they play an Ayara, Glass Casket's much better. So we'll just cycle this Frantic Inventory. Looks like they're stuck on 2 lands. might be another easy game. There's a Shatter. Archon down. And if we get to untap with this Archon, it's just game over. I mean, they have to have some kind of... Okay, perfect. Yeah, because Heartless... They had to have left some amount of removal in. Still stuck on 2. Oh, there's an additional Dream Trawler. Now that we have another Glass Casket, we're gonna shoot this Valmire Knight. And then we can Omen of the Sea at the end of their turn to hit the 6th land. Oh, there we go. Land 3, that's fine. So Omen of the Sea to hit our last land. Perfect. And then this Dream Trawler will probably activate concession mode. Good game. Because, I mean, they could play the Valmire Knight and then try and tap down my Dream Trawler, but it's such an uphill battle from here for them, especially since we have 4 cards in hand. And we're going to drop 2 cards unless they can tap it down. Get rid of the excess land. Now we can make a 1/1 here. Oh man, you know what? They're not playing board wipe, so let's just slam a second Dream Trawler. Deal with it, bro. That's awesome. You can't tap both of them down. We're about to be drawing a bunch of cards this turn. Watch them have like a Wrath or something. Oh no, they were hoping we'd block. That's fine. Oh man. All right, so that was a good match. Just trying dealing with their aggressive creatures. So let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. See what maybe some updates we could add to it. What are ball. So the deck felt extremely solid still. Enough early game removal. The Frantic Inventories were fun. Whirlwind Denial didn't really come up, but we didn't play against the multi-ramp decks, and this is going to be very good against that deck. The 4 Dream Trawlers were awesome. That would be my biggest recommendation for wanting to play this deck, is if you like Dream Trawler, play this deck. The sideboard, you could play the Angel, Baneslayer Angel on the sideboard instead of some of this other stuff. Maybe move the Vetos to the side and bring something else into the main. The 4-mana Elspeth Planeswalker, that could be cool in this deck because it gains you life and it makes 1/1s. So that could be a neat addition. But yeah, the deck seems extremely solid. I definitely recommend it. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and subscribe so you can get notified when new videos come out every week. And I want to thank you for watching. Thanks!